Alrighty, I think we are live now. I am still setting things up really quick, so if you'll just give me another minute. I have to set up things on the Twitch end. Where is it? No longer sumo rerun. I have a million things going on. I just got out of an interview. Let's see. I know it's a little scuffed right now, but hey, when isn't it? Am I right? But welcome everybody. We are back once again. Let me turn off the subscriber only mode on the Twitch side. I think everything is set and ready to go. Let me just double check. No, my interview was not on a casting couch. Alrighty. We are live on Twitch, we are live on YouTube, and hopefully it stays that way for the tournament. Hopefully we can keep everything going. Yep, it is fine over there too. Cool. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Kyushu Basho, and we have some great news. We have some poor news. The great news, for the first time in 28 years, all days of the Kyushu Basho have sold out. That means that all 90 days of sumo in a single year have sold out for the first time in 1996. For reference, that was the year Takanohana won 5 tournaments in a row. Fantastic news right there. Thank you, John Gunning. We also have some bad news. Takerufuji Kyujo from day 1 of the Basho. This is his second consecutive absence of 2024 and his 12th withdrawal in 20 tournaments as a yokozuna. Knee and lower back pains prevented him from working on his diabetes. He has been losing a lot of weight too, apparently, and that is not good. Not good at all. Don't know if we are going to be seeing him retire anytime soon. I really hope we don't, but I mean, it could be in the cards. We've kind of known for a little while now. We want to go and look at his actual, like, year to year, day to day. He has not been very present as a yokozuna. 6 months off from November to May. Won that tournament, and then another 6 months off from July to January the next year. 2 tournaments this year off. The last one off. This one off. Hopefully he can be back for January, but I am not too confident. Start stream without checking on us. I was thinking about it, but I didn't know if you were going to be mad at me or not. I'm sorry. I'll come check on you in a little bit, okay? I'll come give you a lot of kisses and another Coke. Thank you, Hammer Smash, for your tier 1 subscription. I forgot to turn the sound effects back on for that too. Give me 1 second. Ow. Oh my god. He's stuck in ads. Alright, let me go give her good night kisses. I'll be right back, chat. But anyway, Takerufuji out once more. Don't know if he'll be coming back, and if he does, will it be for one final ride? I don't know. Hopefully, he does come back, though. Next up, Shodai turned 23. 23. Imagine. Shodai turned 33. Bring it back up with some fluff piece. Everything I'm getting is from Patricia Dobashi, Patricia JD on Twitter. I follow her mostly for the sumo pieces. And she follows me so she can make fun of me making fun of my wife. But let's see. He took 33 Butsukari bouts at the training session in preparation for a collective 33 wins in 3 tournaments, which should return him to the rank of Ozeki. I don't have anything clever to say. I'm just getting old. Thank you, Shodai. What a guy. Here we also have some news about Onosato getting a new Kesho Mawashi, the ceremonial mawashi that they wear when they do the ring entering ceremonies. In the hometown of the first and famous Ozeki Onosato, Onosato Mansuke, from 1892 to 1936, who held the rank for 7 full years, Sumo's current Ozeki Onosato Daiki was bestowed with a new Kesho Mawashi adorned with the region's celebrated Fuji apples, which are very delicious, I will say, on a white silken background representing the flag of Japan and fringed with a majestic purple tassel, a color reserved for Yokozuna and Ozeki. I've always dreamed of wearing purple on my belt, said Onosato, and now I can proudly do so. Mayor Hiroyuki Hirata, in presenting the mawashi to Onosato, Fujisaki is known for the best apples in the world, so it's only fitting that we present this mawashi to the world's best rikishi. Huge words. The world's best rikishi, and he may just be, after this tournament, if he can move up to number 2, defeating the other Ozekis, being Ozeki 1 East, challenging for Yokozuna's spot, he might just be the guy. After this, let's see. Talking about Oho's injury, he had a broken eye socket. After defeating Aki Honbasho's 2 Ozeki on consecutive days, Oho's eye collided with the lunging head of Sekiwake Abi that, while breaking his orbital socket, did not deter him from fighting and getting a 9-6 score. It was until after the Basho concluded that Oho reported to his stable master about seeing double since day 7. So he had a broken orbital for a week, then got surgery on it. The injury itself wasn't so bad that it interfered with my daily life, said the selfless Oho. My body was still moving well, so my physical condition didn't decline. I can still wrestle today, and I am not scared. That said, Oho has not trained for a real match until October 31st, going 17 rounds versus Ozeki Koto Zakura and the judo debutante Koto Eiho, both from Sarakatake Beya. Koto Eiho being Koto Tebakari. Banzuke prognosticators opined that Oho should be ranked West Komusubi, although that most sophisticated suspected the JSA's call would go to Shodai. Oho will enter Fukuoka at East Maegashira 1. Everyone is worried about me, but I'm not, he softly spoke. But I think the sooner I can get a higher ranking, the better. If I want to move up, I better start working harder. Oho, coming back from injury, let's hope he is fine. And then one last thing. Hanare Gomabeya's stable, their temporary stable for the Kyushu Basho in the island of Kyushu, was flooded and the practice dohyo was messed up. So now we get some good pictures of a flooded dohyo. I wonder what practicing on that must have felt like after they cleaned it all up. But geez, this is a rare instance of actually seeing a wet dohyo. As we know, back in the day, sumo was outdoors. And that is why there is the roof over the arena. Now they get a taste of it, wrestling on that wet clay. Hopefully they got that cleaned up in time. Other than that, one last piece of sumo news. Asanoyama is slated to come back in March. If we wanted to look at the banzuke, Asanoyama has fallen down to Makushita 1. Being out this tournament would probably put him down near the bottom of Makushita. Being out in January would definitely put him in the middle to high part of the 4th division, and he would have to fight his way all the way back up, which that is not something he is a stranger to, having done it once before. Coming back from Sandamne, it's going to take him probably until the end of the year to come back. So we'll see if Asanoyama can return to this top division by November next year. Next year, we might see Asanoyama again. So hopefully we can see him again. That'll bring us to the next little section we have here, where I will go over my Guess the Banzuke, which I haven't actually checked how well I did on the Guess the Banzuke. So let me look up my name. Leo. Ooh. Middle of the pack, as I usually am. 155 out of 255, so a little below average. How many points did I have? 45? 46, 47, 48, 49. Whatever. I had 45 points. Number 1 got 68. Jeez. Let's go over the actual Banzuke compared to what I thought the Banzuke was going to be and see what I got wrong. So, let's see. We already talked about how Oho was kind of snubbed for that Komusubi spot. We, of course, have Terunofuji, Kotozakura, Hoshoryu, Onosato, Kirishima Daisho, and Wakamoto Haru all in their correct spots. So let's fill those in as green. But Shodai and Oho, we don't get points for that. Even though they are half of a rank off, we missed it. Hirado Umi, though, we got in the right spot. Wakataka Kage and Uda, we got in the right spot. Abi and Atami Fuji, we got correct as well. Churano Umi and Oshoma. Tobizaru, Koto Shoho. Takanosho, Nishikigi. Where did it start going wrong? Endo, Mitake Yumi. Oh, wait. What the hell? I'm stupid. I'm sorry. I'm just comparing the actual Banzuke to the Banzuke itself. Wow. I need some sleep. My wife needs some sleep. My baby needs some sleep. All right. Maegashira 1, I predicted Wakataka Kage up there. Why abuse Leo when he does it to himself? You're right, dude. I predicted Wakataka Kage at Maegashira 1. I predicted Hirado Umi at Maegashira 2. That didn't happen, so we missed those points. Uda, we did get correct, though. So it really sucks to see that I missed these guys on half of a rank, but they are that far off. Let's see. I predicted Abi to Maegashira 3, but he fell to 4. Churano Umi at Maegashira 3. Atami Fuji, I only get half of a point for. And everything is going wrong here. And this is supposed to be where it's easy to call. Oshoma, we also got correct. Just barely. And after that, I predicted Koto Shoho and Tobizaru on the wrong side of the Banzuke from each other. And I think it's because I predicted, Wakataka Kage over Hirado Umi, Atami Fuji. I predicted him over Uda, but Uda was still over him. And then Abi Chuda, they gave it to Abi. So in this scenario, if you remember from my Guess the Banzuke video, I did say I was favoring all of the winners in their coin flips, but they just kind of screwed around. They did not go that route at all. So I got really tripped up at the top here. Takanosho, I got on the wrong. Takanosho Nishikigi, I only get half points for as well. Got them on the wrong sides of the Banzuke. Endo, I got him correct somehow through serendipity. Mitaki Umi and Roga and I get half a point for Gonoyama because I had him on the wrong side of the Banzuke. But you can see, all of these guesses are so close to each other. Just, smudge a name out, move it up. I would have gotten it. Let's see. Next up, Midorifuji Takeyasu. I get a half of a point for him too. Midorifuji, I guessed him completely wrong. Man, this is one of my worst, honestly. Ichi Yamamoto, I get half of a point for him. Takerufuji, miss him. Tamawashi and Meisei, I get half of a point for the both of them. Like, oh my goodness. That's part of the trouble too, is a lot of these misses were just wrong side. Like, oh, Tamawashi Meisei, wrong side. Tobizaru Kotoshoho, wrong side. Takanosho Nishikigi, wrong side. Like, I got the rank right, I just didn't get the east-west right. And it's those tiny little adjustments, those tiny little things that you wouldn't even think about. That's why guessing the banzuke is so interesting and fun. I did get Hokuto Fuji Sada no Umi. I got those correct. Let's see. Ryuden and Shonan no Umi. I got them correct. So the bottom of the banzuke is looking nice. Chiyoshoma and Nishiki Fuji, I got them on the wrong side, but that's a little more excusable. Onokatsu Toki Hayate, once again, got them on the wrong side of the banzuke, because who the hell could have guessed, am I right? Shishi Takerufuji, I actually nailed them. So that's 2 more points right there. And then Asakoryu, half of a point for him. And Bushozan stays alive. I had Bushozan falling. The reason why I had Bushozan falling was because of his 4 and 11 from Maegashira 12, and I thought that Kitano Waka was going to hold on with his 6 and 9, but they actually dropped Kitano Waka that time to Judio 1 East. Very interesting. So Bushozan makes me miss a point there. So you know, all these orange, all the orange there, you can really see, like, I was close on a lot of these calls, and even some of those reds are technically only half of a rank off. So have I ever guessed a banzuke 100%? Nope. And I don't know a single soul that has ever guessed a banzuke 100%. It is damn near impossible unless you're sitting in that room with them. Yeah, I mean, okay guesses. Again, I got a 155th, which is honestly not that bad. 7 and 8 record. I'm always middle of the pack when it comes to these things. If some of those flipped the right way, like the Tobizaru Kotoshoho, Takanosho, Nishikigi, had them both in the right rank but wrong spot. If those flipped my way, if that one flipped my way, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I had an extra 10 points just from getting those bullseyes, I would have been top 50 almost. And that's the difference it makes playing this game. That's what makes it fun. But that is the Guess the Banzuke. I never really do well on that. And to talk a little bit more about the Banzuke, the debut of Shishi, the debut of Asakoryu, 2 guys I am very much looking forward to. And in Judio, the debuts of Aonishiki, Waka Ikari, and Koto Eiho. Aonishiki, we've been following very closely since his debut. He has been flying up the banzuke, 7-0, 7-0, and then 4 consecutive 6-1s, all at different stages of the tournament. So we'll see where his consistency lies, somewhere in the middle here. 20 years old from the Ukraine. We'll see how strong this young man really is when he comes up against 15. After that, Waka Ikari, not as fast of a rise, but a very consistent one, all the way from Makushita 15, 4-3, 4-3, 4-3, for almost a full year of straight 4-3s to finally make his debut at the top of the bottom of the next highest mountain, Judio 13. 19 years old, Waka Ikari, so another young gun to look out for from Ise no Umi's stable. Look out for him. And then finally, Koto Eiho, someone that we've had another close eye on since debut. I'm sure you've heard a lot about him if you watch those Chris Sumo videos. He talks about Koto Shoho and Koto Tebakari a lot. because I do believe he goes to their family bar. Their family owns a bar that he goes to pretty often. I'm pretty sure. But Koto Tebakari changing his name to Koto Eiho. I am not sure of the significance of the Eiho part of the name or what it means because I don't speak Japanese, nor can I read the kanji. But a pretty consistent rise that was tripped up in that Makushita Joy, where it is the hardest to really break up into that salaried status, and Koto Eiho finally made it. Congratulations to him. We are looking forward to seeing his success. Will he find it? I don't really know. And that's the thing. If we want to talk about some of these guys making their way back up into Judio, we won't talk about it too at length like we will for the Kachi Clash for the top division. But Kageaki's been struggling. Shirokuma was injured, if I remember correctly. Tomokaze, he's struggling. Tsurugisho, I believe, was injured as well. Onosho was injured as well. So a lot of guys falling down because of injury. Then we have Aonishiki, who I believe would be the favorite next to Haku Oho to win the Judio Cup. Haku Oho has had a slow rise back up. Not as impressive as his lightning fast debut. 11-4, 8-7. We expect a lot better than an 8-7, but maybe our expectations were too high because of his electric debut. And, you know, he does still wrap up that shoulder. He is still kind of nursing injuries. So, I mean, long term, it is true that repairing his shoulder is going to give him a longer career. But because of that, you have to wonder how much that might be restricting his movement, restricting his body. He is still young. He's 21 years old, can still very much heal through it. And again, I think we may have been overexcited for his return from that surgery. Wasn't he injured and sick? I think he was sick during this most recent tournament. It was either during this one or this one where he went 5-6-4. But you're right, he was also sick at some point. So just a rough year for him. So hopefully 2025 looks a lot more like 2023, minus the surgery at the end of it. Haku Oho, like to see him bounce back even stronger. Aonishiki, we already talked about him. He's amazing. Chiyomaru making his way back up into the Judio division. 33 years old, only a few years older than me. Suffering down in that Judio division, or in that Makushita division for a little while. I don't know if he's going to be able to make a late stage push back to the top division. I would like to see it. A lot of people would like to see it, but I don't believe he will have the strength for it. Now, as far as Aonishiki, Wakaikiri, Koto Eiho, Nabatame, Osho Umi is returning after a stint down in the third division. He's 23 years old as well. Injury early on in his own career. As far as these guys, these younger, newer guys go, Nabatame, I know we love him because of the sumo food, but I don't believe he will see much more success than he did last time. 4-11, barely scraped a 4-3, and you could argue it was very lucky for him to get back up into Judio in the first place. So unless he really comes back with some renewed fire in his step, I think he'll fall back down to that third division again. I'd love to be proven wrong, though. Koto Eiho as well. Not that he's been struggling. You know, he hasn't been having a hard time of it. But he does fall after reaching a new high. You can see he made it up to 5, fell. 3-4. Fought back, made it to Makushita 2, fell. Fought back. Judio 13, will he fall again? Will the 15-day pace trip him up? I think it might. Koto Eiho may fall once more. I do believe that may happen. Same thing with Wakaikiri. He has not had a single losing record in his short career thus far. I would love to see him continue that, but again, the inexperience, the young age, he is nowhere near his full potential. He is nowhere near his peak. I would love to see him reach it soon, sooner rather than later, but Wakaikiri, is probably another candidate to simply fall right back down. Nabatame, I already mentioned him. Aonishiki, I think he's just straight the favorite. There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of strength. Aonishiki, he didn't have the same, what's the word? He didn't have the same, because, you know, we want to compare him to Shishi because they're both Ukrainians, right? But he didn't have the same struggles as Shishi because Shishi was much more wild compared to Aonishiki, who Aonishiki, he's very measured and strong in his approach. He might get tripped up by some of the veterans. Like, if he has to fight a rough tumble Hakuyozan, if he has to fight the large and strong Tsurugisho, those guys might trip him up. He might be able to take advantage of, you know, the weaker veterans like Chiyomaru. Onosho, I feel like, should be eating this division alive if he is also, you know, uninjured, but it's not looking good for Onosho either. So Aonishiki, I expect him to have a winning record. I don't know what to expect as far as winning the tournament goes. Now, down in the third division, my man Miyagi, Makushita 2. Hatsuyama, a new career high after that 7-0 Yusho just outside the top 15. Really hurts to not make it to Judio, but he is closer than ever. Hatsuyama. Kiryuko falling back down to Makushita 2. Then we have Aqua at Makushita 5. A fun name to say, Kurohimeyama, Makushita 6. And if you see any other names over here, like Yoshi, Takerufuji, I do believe, I might be mixing him up with someone else, but Takerufuji, I mean, anyone with Fuji at the end of their name, look at. Excuse me. I've just noticed a couple more subscriptions. My sound. Oh. That's because I'm logged into the wrong account. Hold on a second. We're just here to laugh at Giants fans. Shut up, man. Shut up. Hate it when my season is over before the Kyushu Basho. Yes, Twitch, please log me in. Thank you. Matsui is another name to look out for. Recruit from Miyagino stable, now in Isagahama. Consistently 4-3. Looking forward to see how he continues to rise. Ishizaki, which is not Kiryuko, Asakoryu's younger brother. Mita, of course, Mita. Everybody loves Mita. Probably the favorite to win it all, but we'll see. Across from my boy, Tanji. Mita and Tanji, to 22 years old, Futaguyama stable, Kinki University. Suffered that first defeat on day one, but went undefeated since. Let's see if he can continue that winning streak. Whereas Tanji, 18 years old, I do believe he is still the youngest in this third division. 3-4 at the last tournament from a new career high. Right across from Mita. That might be his first match of the tournament. That's one I am very much looking forward to. We do have Shunrai down here, making his new career high, also 19 years old. Let's see if he can keep on climbing. But I don't believe there are many other new names outside of maybe this guy, Sei Hakuho. Another man under Hakuho. Another Mongolian. 6-1, 7-0, 6-1. Might have to fight Mita for the title. We will see in this third division. Fourth division, this is where it starts to get really, this is where you only have a favorite if you watch the sumo food videos. Fans of, interesting foreigners, Ikazuchido, not that he is a foreigner, but Ikazuchido is the half Nigerian sumo wrestler, making it to a new career high, 19 years old, Sandamne 38. Keep an eye out for him. And then I don't know anything that goes on down here in Jonidan and Jonokuchi. Doesn't look like we have any new guys in Jonokuchi this time around, but banzuke is looking fun and interesting. The tournament will start tomorrow, yes. Approximately 20 hours from now. One more second. It's muted. All right. But that brings us to the last section when it comes to the YouTube stream. And afterwards, on Twitch, we will watch the ring purification ceremony and a couple of training videos before we really get into it. But first, let me go grab a water bottle and baby. Oh, that is one piece of news I forgot to mention. Thank you for pointing that out, Dragon Power. Well, Shoryu's cousin, another Asa Shoryu nephew, is entering sumo. I don't know his name or what stable he's going to be in, but there's another Asa Shoryu nephew in sumo. All right, now I will be right back. I'll also let everybody know that the sumo socks are on. They're not coming off until the end of the basho. No, I'm joking, of course. But let's see. Guess, or the Kachi Clash. Yes, the Kachi Clash. You can join Dickinson Baya. Where is it? Dickinson Baya. We have 37 members. We can always make a second one if we need to, like Midnight Sumo did. But if you want to join Dickinson Baya, be sure to leave, if you haven't already, if you're in my Discord, leave your name in the Discord, or in YouTube, leave it on a post that I made. For those of you that haven't, or that did post your name, but didn't join the stable yet, it is because I literally cannot find your name. Like, there's a dude who says his name is O Shodai. Like, it doesn't come up. He simply does not exist. He is lying to me. See, the other nephew is going to be joining Shikorayama stable with Homasho as the stable master, which is Abi's stable. Very interesting. Thank you very much for that information. But here it is. Guess the banzuke. Guess the banzuke. I am. I'm sure all the adults, or most of the older folk, know what I'm going through right now. The baby is 4 months old. He does not like to nap. The baby absolutely hates napping. He'll fall asleep and wake up 20 minutes later. And he's ready to go for another bottle. Thank you for your Prime subscription, Tillywink. It's hitting mom harder than it is me, but it's still hitting me. But, yeah. He's a fat baby. He weighs 20 pounds, 9 kilograms for a 4-month-old. Which, my sister was saying her 2 sons, one of them was 20 pounds at 6 months, and the other one was 20 pounds at 9 months. So it's like, what the hell are we feeding this kid? Am I right? But anyway, enough about Gideon. You might see him this tournament. You might not, because his sleep schedule is getting on a better pattern. He is sleeping from about 9, 10 o'clock to about 1, 2 a.m., which is perfect because that means we'll have him for the top division. And that's, hopefully he isn't so fussy and things like that. But you know how babies are. You know how babies are. But banzuke picking, Kachi Clash. Don't pick Takerufuji. The top one, the most difficult one. Yes, it will begin tomorrow. Kotozakura, Hoshoryu, and Onosato in Kachi Clash. It's tough to pick because I love all three of these guys. If you want to go recency bias, if you want to go by the hype, definitely go for Onosato. But if you believe in superstition, you don't go for Onosato because reaching the rank of Ozeki, you usually have that sophomore slump. Usually, you will see a degradation in your performance. I don't know if that'll affect Onosato. He did go 9-6 when he debuted as a Sekiwake, but I mean, he's been absolutely fantastic since. 12-3, 9-6, 13-2, 2 Yusho, like, and 9-6 was more of a hiccup than anything else. Ozeki 2 Onosato. Definitely go ahead and pick him. I'm still leaning Kotozakura. I want to believe one of these days. I believe he can do it. One of these days, please. Thank you, and Markel, for your Prime subscription. I want to believe Kotozakura can do it. And of the three, I think Hoshoryu is still a step behind. I don't know if I could say it any more than I have in the past. We've been saying it pretty much all year. Kotozakura, I believe, edges out Hoshoryu. Onosato is better than the both of them, but will he have that sophomore slump? That's the question. Hoshoryu will go 9-6, probably. So to me, Hoshoryu is not even in the equation. To me, it's, does Onosato slump his first tournament as Ozeki, or doesn't he? Like, I'm not even asking about how good Kotozakura is right now. It's like, is Onosato going to win it all, or is he gonna go a disappointing scoreline of 10-5, you know? It really is like, are we betting it all on red? Or am I gonna try to call it black? Kotozakura, I think, is gonna be my bet. I might come back to this later. Then, interesting things happening here. In the junior Sanyaku, Hoshoryu has been looking good in his practice bouts recently. Don't count him out. He'll surprise us this time. I hope you're right. But truthfully, I'm just picking my favorite. That's how you got to play these things. You just got to pick your favorites. Those guys that, they try to do the math. They try to do the probability. They watch all the training videos. Nah, you just pick your favorites, bro. That's how I won. I picked Tobizaru and Takanosho and got first place a couple tournaments ago. But really, it's just I'm picking my favorites here. Kotozakura is my favorite of the three Ozeki. Takerufuji's absent. Don't pick him unless you're trying to lose. I hope we see Takerufuji versus Onosato, but he's near the bottom, so that would have to be near the end of the tournament, which make it even more hyped up. Next up, Kirishima, Daieisho, Wakamoto Haru, and Shodai. Now, a very interesting crop here. Kirishima and Shodai are former Ozeki. Wakamoto Haru and Daieisho have been Sekiwake for quite a while. Daieisho, a Yusho winner, Kirishima and Shodai again. Wakamoto Haru always looks solid. I think Shodai is going to be the least popular pick here, despite the fact that he has 2 straight 10-5s. If we want to go back here, he lost to the basically all 3 current Ozeki and Daieisho, but then fought everyone below him and won. His tournament this time around is going to be slightly more difficult, but who knows? Maybe he'll surprise us. Wakamoto Haru, again, is always kind of a solid choice. I don't think he's a bad choice by any means. 11-4 at the previous tournament was helped a little bit by a Fusensho. But even before that, as a Sekiwake, fell down due to injury. Only a 9-6, 10-5, 6-9. He is good, but he's never been good enough until last tournament. Now, this last tournament, he's 31 years old. He got the Fusensho against Takakeisho, but then he only lost to Hoshoryu Onosato and Hirado Umi and Shodai. So, was this a flash in the pan, or is this the start of an Ozeki push for Wakamoto Haru if he can get another 10 plus wins, That's a big question. Daisho, on the other hand, he kind of just slipped forward into that Sekiwake spot with those slots being vacated and him being Komusubi 1 East. Again, he had an 11-4 recently, back in May, and he is a playoff loser back in March of last year. He is a Yusho winner, well, almost 4 years ago now, so a little far removed from that. So, Daisho, has he missed a step and is just doing the Abi thing, where he just gets 8 and 7s? I don't know. And then, of course, Kirishima. Kirishima on a tear, falling out of Ozeki due to injury. 8 and 7, not too impressive, but a 12 and 3 Jun Yusho at the last tournament. I asked if it was a flash in the pan for Wakamoto Haru and Daisho. Well, not much Daisho, but I asked if it was a flash in the pan for Wakamoto Haru. For Kirishima, I think this is what he's supposed to be. That 12 and 3 that we saw at the last tournament, that is what Kirishima is supposed to be. That is who he is. That is his strength. That is the Ozeki he is supposed to remain. But it was because of that injury. He may have been fighting through injury in March, fell out in May, couldn't get it back in July. But that 12 wins, I think he can get it. I think Kirishima has a chance here, and I'm going to be voting for Kirishima personally. After that, we all know I have to pick Tobizaru. We'll get to that later. But this rank, Oho, Hirado Umi, Wakataka Kage. I believe Wakataka is probably going to be the most popular pick here. Next to Ura, then Abi, Atami Fuji, Churano Umi, Oshoma, Tobizaru, and Koto Shoho. Koto Shoho, I believe, will be the least popular pick here. Enho. Oh, you're right. I forgot to mention Enho. Let's go back to the banzuke. Where is Enho again? He is in the Sandamne division. Enho, I hope he can make it back too. I can't believe I forgot to mention him earlier. I feel stupid. It's the days are long. Just picked up a new part-time job too, so Oho. For a long time I have been behind Oho, that I want him to succeed because of his family legacy, but I have never been too impressed by him. The 9 and 6 for Maegashira 2 is his best performance thus far. For Maegashira 1, he's going to be fighting largely the same people. Will he be able to recreate that result? Hirado Umi, falling out of that Komusubi rank. His climb up there was consistent. The 7 and 8 was the 7 and 8 a flash in the pan. Is that never going to happen again? And Hirado Umi going to fight back? He's young, he's strong. I don't know if I would believe in him personally, though. These Maegashira 1s, it's very difficult to call when it comes. Wakataka Kage, you know him, you love him. Yusho winner, former Sekiwake, fell due to injury, back on the come up. 12 and 3 Jun Yusho, but he was fighting middle of the pack guys. Wakataka Kage. And because of the 3 early losses, he kind of snuck into the Jun Yusho conversation He did defeat Onosato. He dealt Onosato his first loss of that tournament. But he stayed far enough behind that, like, you know, they gave him Oshoma, Daieisho. Takayasu is a strong opponent, sure, but Wakataka Kage, if you want to be a stickler for it, the only strong sumo wrestler he fought was Onosato. Sure, Daieisho is Sanyaku, Takayasu, former Ozeki, but Takayasu had himself a good tournament, won't deny that. Daieisho, he's been an 8-7 guy as of late. Defeating Onosato is a great sign for Wakataka Kage. I don't know if he'll be able to replicate double digits, but I do predict a winning record for Wakataka. Ura! Everybody loves him, but you know he's not going to succeed. I'm sorry to say it, but the chances of him going 8-7 are as equal as a 6-9, and I think that's really the threshold here. Maybe even 5-10 is on the cards, but I don't think he's going to get an 8-7. If he does, you know, again, great for him. I love him. Not going to fight against him, but Ura, I don't know. Abi, not going to say too much about him either. I kind of want to get through this. Not that I don't want to spend time with you all, but I've spent the past 2 straight hours talking. Not that I'm not going to be talking for 5 straight hours for 2 weeks straight. But it's been a long day. Woke up at 8 a.m. because of the baby. Probably gonna stay up late now because of the baby. And then get sleep after he wakes up, probably at like 12. But anyway. Point is, I'm not trying to rush too much. Abi, he's weird. 10-5, 5-10. From the same position. Sure, that 10-5 had 2 Fusencho, so it could have been an 8-7. Sure, this 8-7 had a Fusencho, could have been a 7-8. But like, he's weird. You never know what you're gonna get with Abi, and it's that inconsistency that makes me not want to pick him. Atami Fuji, another young buck, strong, 3 straight 7-8s though, and he's still going to be fighting against all of the same people. 7-8, 7-8, 7-8. He can probably turn the tide and get an 8-7. But again, he's going to be fighting up. He's going to be fighting those Sanyaku guys. He's going to be fighting it tough again. Has he learned enough about his opponents that he can turn the tide against some of them? Or will he still struggle? Again, young, strong. I lean on the side of he will still struggle. Churano Umi, making his way downtown. 10-5, 10-5 from those middle ranks. At Maegashira 4, his first match of the tournament is going to be Atami Fuji, then Tobizaru. He's not outside the range where he will exclusively fight down the banzuke. He will have to fight some of the guys in the Sanyaku. But if it's only like a couple of those guys and he can get those wins against the people he should win against, pretty much everyone ranked around and below him, he could have another good tournament. But it is a big question mark. This is his career high. He has been consistent. He has been strong. But wow, I didn't realize he was on the older side, 31 years old. What a late career surge. Good for him. But that is also a point against him. That's I say 31 like he's ancient. That's 1 year older than me. 31 years old. You gotta wonder if all of these younger guys will eventually outpace him in the strength. One of those younger guys being Oshoma, 27 years old. New career high of Maegashira 4. Coming off the back of a 10-5, just like the man he sits next to on the banzuke. Again, it's another big question mark. You might give him more points because he is younger and possibly stronger than Churano Umi, but at the same time, that also works against him. That inexperience at the top, no matter your age, is going to show. So these guys at Maegashira 4, if they fight mostly below their rank, probably a winning record. If they fight the entire gauntlet up here, probably double-digit losses. Tobizaru, need I explain myself? He's my favorite sumo wrestler. He'll go 5-10. He'll go 10-5. You never know what you're gonna get. I love my monkey man. And then across from him, Koto Shoho. I don't know why I have such strong feelings about Koto Shoho. It might be because when I first started watching, he was the young guy to look out for, and his career thus far has been, in a word, disappointing compared to expectations. But a string of winning records stopped short at Maegashira 4, and at Maegashira 5 West, he might be out of range to fight Sanyaku. Not that he fought too many Sanyaku at Maegashira 4. Lost to Kirishima, lost to Hoshoryu, Onosato, Abi, Wakamoto Haru. So Koto Shoho might have a chance to get a winning record here. I don't think he'll get anything stronger than 9 wins. But again, if he doesn't have to go through the gauntlet, high chance at a winning record. If he has to go through the gauntlet, a lot less confident in him. Of everyone here, Wakataka Kage is the easy choice. Easily Wakataka Kage. Maybe Hirado Umi if you are a bigger fan of him and you don't really believe in those younger guys just yet. And then, of course, Ura and Tobizaru if you want a cheeky dark horse. Get you a couple of cheeky wins. But Tobizaru is always going to be my bet. He's definitely not the best bet here. If you want to win, pick Wakataka Kage. Just let's get that out of the way. You're going to pick Wakataka Kage if you want to win Kachi Clash. You're going to pick pretty much anyone else if you like them better. Maybe Takerufuji and Oho are dark horses for this section. Maybe Hirado Umi as well, because he is, what, 24 years old, am I right? Yeah, 24 years old. So one of those 3 guys is probably going to be a second option. And then anyone else, you're probably picking them because they're your favorite or because it's a long shot, you know. If you're putting, a couple of dollars on the long shot, you're not mad about losing a couple of dollars. If he wins, you're feeling good. Next is the hardest section, you say. You're probably right about that. I am forced to pick Takanosho because that's my wife's favorite sumo wrestler. And she's probably not going to be able to watch any of the sumo because I'm going to want her to sleep. So, Takanosho, he's not my pick, but he has to be my pick. But this is a difficult area because we have a lot of, I mean, it's like this every single time, isn't it? We have a lot of guys that you think should be better, and you have a lot of guys that you think would be worse. Like, we've seen flashes from Endo. We've seen flashes from Ichi Yamamoto. Like, Endo used to be a Komusubi, you know? Itake Umi used to be an Ozeki. Nishikigi was a Komusubi, like, earlier this year. Some of these guys we've seen flashes from, but it's the inconsistency that kills them. And this section specifically, pretty much every tournament, is one of the biggest crapshoots unless you have something like, Asanoyama coming back from injury, Wakataka Kage coming back from injury, obvious choices. Meaning, the obvious choice here is Takayasu. Takayasu, we've seen his strength when he can survive a full tournament without injury. 10-5. He lost on the last 3 days because he was in that Yusho race, fighting the Sanyaku, Daisho, and Kirishima, and then falling to Wakataka Kage. So, 2 of his last 3 losses were against Jun Yusho guys. So, you can't really fault him there. He will have another strong tournament if he stays healthy. That's the thing. If Takayasu stays healthy, 10-5, easy. We just saw it last tournament, easy. But as for everyone else here, Takerufuji got his I think it's what, his third 10-5. He'll never do that again. He's never getting another 10-5 again. No, he's an 8-7 merchant. Ichi Yamamoto, he's wild, he's crazy, don't know what to expect from him. Midorifuji, you would think he does better in these middle ranks, but even he is inconsistent too. 5-10 from Maegashira 6, only an 8-7 from Maegashira 10, 7-8 from Maegashira 8. He's small, he's fun, but I think at this point he is a known factor. People know how to deal with him at this point, and it's inexperience against him, like Midorifuji and Roga perhaps. Midorifuji might have an edge there, or maybe Midorifuji will have an edge against some of these newer guys like Shishi, Asakoryu. But Midorifuji, again, too inconsistent for my tastes. Roga, if you're a Futagoyama stable kind of guy, Roga's your man. 8-7 at last tournament, 2 straight winning records so far. Can he finish the year strong? He's going to be largely fighting the same people, moving up only, what, 2.5 ranks? So, Roga could be a strong pick. He does really seem to be coming into his own at this new career high. 9-6 and 8-7, nothing to scoff at. He is still young, 25 years old. Roga could be a good pick here. Gonoyama, another obvious choice, but he has been struggling from the top. That might be affecting him mentally, could be also physically, feeling beaten down. 6-9 from Maegashira 6. Again, he didn't move too far. He's going to be fighting largely the same people. See who he lost to: Meisei, Akataka, Kotoshoho, Ura. So those guys went up. Ichi Yamamoto is right there. Endo is right there. I don't know why they gave him to Koto Shodai is too far up. But Oshoma, Roga, Mitakayumi, they're all in range. Those are 3 straight wins for him. So Konoyama, not sure what to expect here. Not sure what to expect. Maybe I'm still riding the high of his debut a year and a half ago. Top division. That pretty much covers it for this section. I mean, I didn't really mention Takanosho. Nishikigi, he's regressing. Got an 11-4 from Maegashira 13, but I feel like this is a flash in the pan. I really don't feel like he will replicate this again, especially for Maegashira 6. What else did I say? Takanosho at 12-3, definitely a flash in the pan. 4-11 right afterwards. I really, really, really do not expect him to get another 12-3 from this position. This was definitely just a flash in the pan. Even as a Sekiwake, he was not there, and even coming up to Sekiwake, 10-5, 7-8, 12-3, but then 11-4. What's going on here for the past year or two? He's just too inconsistent as well. So really, everyone in this section is a crapshoot. Pick who you like. I'm picking Takanosho again. If I had gun to my head, I'd say Takayasu is the strongest here, but again, he has to stay healthy. Roga is the dark wolf of this section. Roga, probably a good second option, though. And then, of course, at the bottom, you know who we're all picking. It's Takerufuji season. No need to even talk about anybody else. Tamawashi, he's old. He's washed. Hokuto Fuji, he's bald. He's washed. Ryuden, we don't talk about Ryuden. Meisei, he's washed. Sadano Umi, he's old. Shishi and Asakoryu, they're too new. Takerufuji, he's going 13-2. It's in the script. He doesn't have more than 2 losses in a single tournament in his career. Takerufuji, he's the pick. But for real, let's go through it. Tamawashi, 39 years old. He's going to have his 40th birthday during this tournament, and he's still going to be kicking. He's kicking all those records. He has gone 7-8 for almost the entire year. I mean, if he keeps going 7-8, power to him. A winning record might be in the cards. Meisei, honestly, I never really liked him. Never really liked his style. Way too inconsistent. 2 straight double-digit losing records. Needs the bounce back here. Will that light a fire underneath him? I don't think so. Okuto Fuji, he's also he's always historically been that inconsistent guy. He can beat the best and then he loses to some random dude. You know, 32 years old. Pick him if you like him. I don't like him as much as I like other guys. Sadano Umi, he's been the consistent force. Like, he will always give a good match, but he won't always win the match is the thing. I say these other guys are inconsistent, and it's because their match quality is never consistently good. They're like, oh, that was a great match, into, wow, what the hell was he doing? Sadano Umi is always, or almost always, that was a pretty okay match. Like, that was teetering on a good match. that was almost a great match from Sadano Umi. Sometimes he has a great match, sometimes he has a poor match, but he always has a good fight. Sadano Umi, he's a good guy. Wouldn't pick him though. Ryuden, skipping Ryuden. Screw that guy. Ryuden, I would say he seems to feast on these lower division, like lower guys in this top division, but he really hasn't recently. 10-5, sure, from Maegashira 14 in May, but 3-12 from Maegashira 8? That's horrible. Only an 8-7 from Maegashira 14? That does not inspire confidence. I don't know about him. Shonan no Umi. Whoa, man, what happened? 3-12? You were my pick. If I didn't pick Tobizaru, you were my pick. And you go 3-12 last tournament. Jeez, what happened? When it's that bad, you think he has to be fighting through an injury, right? Like, there's no way he's not. Like, sure, the 4-11 at the beginning of the year, that's one thing, because he was struggling already from those ranks. But bouncing back 9-6, 9-6, 7-8, okay, yeah, he's still on the right track despite 7-8, and then boom, 3-12. He didn't even fight the gauntlet. He fought Kirishima and that was it. Like, he didn't fight anyone in the Sanyaku other than Kirishima, and he just shit the bed, for lack of a better phrase. Shonan no Umi, I believe he can bounce back though. I would pick him if it wasn't for other people in this section. Chiyoshoma. We call him the Henka merchant, but we really haven't seen him Henka as often as he used to. 10-5 from Judio 1. The last time he was up here, he was out that first week due to injury. He seems too good for Judio. 12-3, 10-5, and even through that injury, 5-5 in the actual matches he fought. It's not bad for Chiyoshoma. He's always been that kind of middle of the pack guy. Another gatekeeper for this bottom of the top division. We'll see if he can bounce back and continue doing his job down here. Nishiki Fuji, 28 years old. Honestly, these scorelines don't really inspire too much confidence again. Excuse me. 5-10 from Maegashira 12 earlier this year. Not much to say here. Let's see. Onokatsu. Only falling one rank. I thought he was going to be the guy. I thought he was going to be the guy in his debut. 13-2, 9-6 coming out of Judio. He was hot. He was not the guy. That's okay. No. 7-8 is not bad for your debut in the top division. Not as good as I was expecting because, Nippon Sports Science University guy, Makushita 15 Suke Dashi, looking fantastic, coming up the ranks, his first career losing record. I think he will respond positively. I think he will respond strong. And I think he will be a good pick here. It's not for other people in this section. Toki Hayate, 28 years old, coming back from the Judio division. His first time up here wasn't very good, 6-9. I can't imagine his next time up here will go as well. Probably going to get another losing record, in my humble opinion. Shishi making his debut. Shishi. He's had a good string of tournaments lately. 11-4, 9-6. Those are good scores. Before that, 5-10. But he's been a good character in the Judio division for the past year and a half now. I don't expect too much from him in the top division. I feel like even though some of these other guys in the top division around him are still relatively new to the position, if he has to fight a veteran, I feel like they'll take advantage of it. If he has to fight someone like Sadano Umi, if he has to fight Meisei, Tamawashi especially, I feel like they will take advantage of Shishi, and I don't think he's going to have a good time in this top division. Skip you for now. Asakoryu, the muscle man, making his debut. I like him a lot, coming off the back of an 11-4, just squeaking up into the top division. This is an over promotion. I very strongly believe this is an over promotion. I think he's going to struggle massively. Sure, I like him. I think he's really cool. I think he's going to struggle. 6-9 probably. 5-10 is what I'm thinking, honestly. But Asakoryu, again, I really like him, but I think he's going to get his ass whooped. Then, of course, that last spot, Bushozan. Bushozan was on a good upturn. 3 straight winning records, got his first career Kachi Clash in the top division in July, but then 4-11. Like, bro, he started off 4-1. What happened? What happened? That's 10 straight losses. That's something must have been wrong mentally, physically. 10 straight losses doesn't just happen. That's not a good sign. Bushozan, you would have done better in Judio. That, of course, brings us to the man, the myth, the legend, Takerufuji. I believe he is partly the reason why these arenas have been selling out. Thank you, Green Eagle, for your subscription. Takerufuji. Oops. The first man in 100 years to not only back-to-back Judio and top division Yusho, but also that same record holder, was the first to debut in the top division and earn the Yusho. We saw it when he was injured. Look at this, Judio 2, 1-12. Those 2 matches were incredible. He is so damn strong. Like, how do you stop this guy? Someone can tell you how to stop him. Tohakuryu and Kaio can tell you how to stop him. Maybe on a good day. But he came back from injury. Even while he was injured, he was so strong. This dude is a phenom. Like, if Onosato doesn't make it to Yokozuna before Takerufuji makes it up to Ozeki, like, it's gonna be a bloodbath up there. Takerufuji is far and away the best answer here. He's just so friggin' strong. Like, he throws these guys around and he's the same size as them. He's incredible. Takerufuji. I mean, you're stupid if you pick anybody else, let's be real. And that's why he's going to be my pick for the Kachi Clash. Kotozakura, Kirishima, Tobizaru, Takanosho, and Takerufuji. My picks for Kachi Clash. And I do apologize for kind of rushing through this Kachi Clash segment, but I'm starting to feel a little congested. I would like to start winding down. And for those of you on the YouTube side, thank you very much for joining us. We are going to be going further on Twitch. So if you want to join the Twitch side, where we will be watching the ring purification ceremony and a couple of other things, because if I restreamed them on the YouTube side, that is actually grounds for a strike, and I don't want to do that on day 0. So we're not going to do that. We are simply going to do that over on the Twitch side, where for some reason Twitch doesn't get strikes. So if you want to continue watching with us, join us over on the Twitch side. And before I go, I would also like to say we have a brand new sponsor, the Path of Cha. Path of Cha is a fantastic tea website where you can get all of your tea needs in one place. Let me pull up the website for you real quick. Let me shill this. All different kinds of teas, pu'er teas, black teas, oolong, yellow, green, matcha, Japanese. They have teaware, teapots of all different shapes, sizes, builds, gear quality, anything and everything you could possibly be looking for. And of course, they have a tea 101 section, a glossary for tea, the history of certain types of teas, and all of their tea is sourced by local farmers that they personally know. And by local, I mean like actually from China and Vietnam and Japan. You are getting these teas fresh from the source. So if you want your daily dose of tea, be sure to go down the Path of Cha, and be sure to use that link in the description, because that's how I get my money. Please add D. Ziego to Dickinson Bay. You got it, boss. Yeah, while we're still here too, be sure to let me know. Add you. Ziego. Your name's not coming up. The all player stats. All player stats. No, it's not coming up. Zago. Yeah, no. That's, I can't find some names. It's weird. For me, some names just don't pop up, and I don't know why. There's no Mississippi Cage. It's weird. I don't know why that's happening. But I'll try to figure it out. Maybe it's something like you actually have to play your first Basho to show up in the charts. I'm not too sure. But hopefully after day 1 starts and your picks are in, we'll be able to see. So that'll be it for us from the YouTube side. I will try once again later after the stream to try to put those names into the the Dickinson Bea, because I would like to be the largest stable. I would like to be the largest stable. Dickinson Bea. I want to be bigger than Midnight Sumo stable. They got 58 people. We got 37. I know we got a lot more people in the chat. So, tomorrow, day 1. We'll be starting slightly early for the top division. If you want to see the return the trophy ceremony, and one last little bit of bad news. Kongo will not be joining us for day 1 of the Basho. He is traveling for work, so he will not be with us on day 1, but he will be joining us for the rest of the tournament, so don't you worry. Oh, there you are, Mississippi Cadge. Why couldn't I find you earlier? Let me try. Oh, there you. Why weren't you guys coming up earlier? It's so strange. Faux show. That guy still doesn't show up. All right. But yeah, that'll be it from us on YouTube. Over on Twitch, we will be watching the ring purification ceremony. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you guys tomorrow.